Welcome back to Lone Wolf, The Kingdoms of Terror. We've had trouble with this book. It's pretty tough. We've died several times being shot by arrows on our horse because they thought we were a horse thief, and they're like, horse thief, kill him. Putting the horse at risk as well. They probably killed the horse too. So we're trying again. We've got... Oh wow. We've got the worst possible combat skill right now. So... We've gone with curing, animal control, and hunt mastery, and all this stuff. Alright. So we start again. So we approach the north gate. How much money do we have? 15, not too bad. Alright, we'll pay the tax. We'll eat the food. We do possess a bow. We have to choose this option if we possess the bow. So I'm thinking maybe I should try starting a game without a bow. That's the only way to get the other option. Alright, well, we've got the bow, we do that. Ask about that. He tells us about this. We're not going to enter the tournament because we're not going to win. Oh no, water could be useful to a warrior such as you. So if we go to collect the water, we get ambushed. And because our skill is so bad, I'm gonna continue. Alright, we're at new territory. Let me just get my coffee. Okay, so beyond the Tornar Valley, the highway twists and climbs across wooded hillsides, often plunging into narrow valleys where bubbling, trout-laden streams wend their way southwards to the Qual. Butterflies gather in clouds above clumps of sweet-smelling flowers bordering the road, and the constant twitterings of bird song add a sense of tranquility to the beautiful countryside. It comforts me to know there is still one part of Lyris where war and death are unfamiliar visitors, says Cyrillus, puffing nonchalantly on a long-stemmed clay pipe. Alas, nowadays such peace is rare. The highway passes the ruins of a monastery, and then descends steeply towards some log huts clustered in a semicircle at the approach to a stone bridge. A tall gate, flanked by two mighty towers of stone, commands the access to the bridge. The Denka Gate, says Cyrillus. The toll is 3 gold crowns to cross the bridge, unless of course the gatekeeper is your brother. He gives a sly wink and smiles. This may take a while. I haven't seen my brother Esmond for over a month, and he is bound to want to hear all the latest gossip from Qualan before he lets us cross. Cyrillus points out 2 of the log huts where wooden signs carved in the shapes of an ale tankard and a loaf of bread hang above the doors. The best ale and bread in all of Lyris. Mention my name and you'll be treated like a king. Sure. Let's try the, I feel like every time we leave Cyrillus, he gets lost. Alright, we'll enter the bread hut. You leave your horse tied to a post beside the hut and approach the door. Cyrillus is announcing his arrival by rapping on the Denka gate with his staff and shouting to his brother to open up. You chuckle at his growing impatience as he hammers at the gate. If his brother is anything like Cyrillus, he is probably fast asleep. Inside the hut, you are greeted by the mouth-watering smell of freshly baked bread. Pyramids of loaves are stacked high in hampers and trays of pies, flans, cakes, and biscuits over the counter. There is nobody here, but an open door reveals another room at the back of the hut. Ooh, we're not going to steal the bread. Call for service. There is no reply. You walk around the counter and peer into the back room, but this is also deserted. Your suspicion is roused when you notice that the oven door and the back door to the hut are both wide open. A rocking chair is lying on its side, and there is other evidence of a recent struggle. You're about to search the room when you hear a faint cry for help. It is Cyrillus. He is in trouble. You race out of the hut. Oh, not again. We can't leave his side for even a moment. Oh my god. You race out of the hut to see your traveling companion struggling with 6 armored horsemen. They have him surrounded and his attempts at resistance are futile. A blow from a mace knocks him unconscious and he limply falls across the neck of his horse. A moment later, all but one of the riders gallop across the bridge with their captive in tow. The remaining horseman, a warrior swathed from head to toe in black and gold armor, raises a crossbow and takes aim as you run towards your horse. As you hear the click of the crossbow trigger, you throw yourself to the ground to avoid the deadly missile. The bolt grazes your scalp and embeds itself in the side of the log hut. A moment later, you are back on your feet. The warrior discards his empty weapon and reins his horse about in order to follow the others across the bridge. We do have a bow. The warrior gallops off, his cloak billowing from his shoulders like huge black wings as his horse speeds across the bridge. You draw an arrow to your lips and take careful aim. You have no second chance. The arrow is on target, but it does not penetrate the thick metal plates of armor that protect the warrior's back. You watch with dismay as it glances away and disappears over the parapet of the bridge. Without further delay, you shoulder your bow and mount your horse in order to pursue the kidnappers before they vanish from sight. Oh, we've been here before, haven't we? So we track them down. Thing is, if we do actually track them down, we have to fight them. And I'll lose. I'll follow the highway. Go back to the village. What? I chose go back to the village and I die. What? A hail of arrows engulfs you. Pain explodes through your chest, neck, and shoulder. You are mortally wounded, and although you fight with grim determination to hang on to life, it is a struggle you cannot win. Weak from shock and loss of blood, you fall from the saddle and die on the highway to Veretta. They were there? Bollocks. Hello, DJ. I was tracking down this horseman, then I decided to go back to the village, and then they just shot me and die. Okay. Let's hope I actually get some combat skill this time. Right, average. Yeah, okay, so we'll take weapon mastery, curing. Try something different. Invisibility, Hunt Mastery, and Pathmanship. We could take those 3. No, we always want Curing. Weapon Mastery, Curing. I'll take Hunt Mastery. Alright, this time I'm not going to take a bow. Because it seems like we go down a whole different path if we don't have a bow. And hopefully we find a bow later on. So I'll take a... Oh, get some money. Okay, good money. We can afford a bunch of things. I'll take a quiver, but not the bow. Take a sword. Waistcoat. Rope. Tinderbox or potion. I'll take the tinderbox. Alright. Alright, start again. Alright. So, go to the north gate. Pay the gold. We take a seat, order some food. Now this time we don't have a bow. Oh fuck. So we have to fight him in melee. Do I not have the option to just not fight him? You prepare yourself for combat and leap to the defense of the helpless old man, just in time to turn aside the lordling's sword. Curse you, scum, he cries. I am Rock, highborn of Amory. How dare you interfere with my sport? He feints withdrawal, but you are not taken in by his street brawl tactics. As his sword cuts the air in a vicious backhanded slash, you are ready to parry the blow. Oh, we got -6. The tavern crowd cheer in anticipation of a good fight. EP reduce. Okay, it's probably not a fight to the death. We just need to bring him to 11 without dying. Uh-oh. Oh! Fiddlesticks. Nice! Trembling with pain and fury, the wounded lordling staggers back towards the door. I shall have your life for this, mark my words, he cries. Okay, so no matter what, you piss him off and he comes back for revenge later. You don't have it really... There's no branch here. Okay, got it. The mocking cheers of the crowd echo in his wake as he turns and disappears into the night. Well, we ask him about Beretta, tell him about our quest. Alright, do we enter the tournament? Well, I don't think we're that good. No. Don't bother entering the tournament. Alright, if we collect Tana water, we get ambushed. Wait. Don't leave Cyrillus aside. Every time we leave Cyrillus aside, he gets kidnapped. Let's stay with Cyrillus. Don't even go for bread. Stay with Cyrillus. Alright. Esmond, you old rascal, show yourself. It's Cyrillus, your brother. I have someone with me I want you to meet. Cries the wizard as he raps on the gate with his oaken staff. There is no reply. He smiles and shrugs his bony shoulders before shouting, Wake up, you old fool. I know you're in there, but still there is no reply. A bolt is slammed back and the great gate slowly opens. At last, Esmond, did we wake you from your... Cyrillus chokes in mid-sentence, his eyes wide with shock. Inside the gate sits a warrior on a warhorse, wreathed in armor of black and gold. A crossbow rests across his forearm. It is pointed at you. Without warning, he pulls the trigger, and the bolt hisses towards your chest. Seriously? Alright, Hunt Mastery. Your Magna Kai skill makes you particularly alert to the deadly missile screaming towards your chest. Suddenly, everything seems to be happening in slow motion. You pull away from the bolt just in time, and the quarrel merely grazes your shoulder. You see your attacker hurl the crossbow to the ground. From within the closed helmet of a black steel, a voice shouts out, "Die, Northlander!" So this is not the noble that we embarrassed? Oh god, we are on really low health. Well, we don't have any choice here, we have to fight. Am I equipping the correct... yeah. Oh boy, we're gonna lose. Oh! Oh! Double crit! Well, that's... turned the tide. We're dead. We had a chance there. This is a combat-heavy book. We need to start with good combat, really. Oh, man. Okay, good combat. Alright, we'll go all in on combat this time. Weapon Mastery. We'll take the bow. Axe and sword. I'm gonna take... Hunt Mastery. We'll get the bonus +1, and I'll take... oh, gotta take Curing. We can't not take Curing. Yeah, okay, those three. Alright, we'll take the bow, quiver, sword. Coat. Rope. Alright, that's enough. We don't have much money. Okay. Again. This time we got pretty strong skill. We could even win the archery tournament, but then we lose the magician. But we lose him no matter what. No, I mean, he was with us right till we fought that armored guy. Maybe I just need to beat that armored guy this time. Yeah, let's try that. Alright, so. Approach the North Gate. Pay the gold. Order some food. Shoot him in the arm. Ask about the Lordstone. Blah, blah, blah. Five gold crowns left. We don't enter the tournament. Continue to Beretta. We stay with him and approach the gate. Alright, now we fight, and we've got decent odds this time. Ooh, we're getting hit quite a bit, though. There we go. As the warrior crashes to the ground, you see your traveling companion embroiled in a struggle with 5 armored horsemen. Oh, so it is the noble. They have him surrounded, and his attempts to free himself are short-lived and futile. A blow from a mace ends all resistance, and he falls limply across the neck of his horse. A moment later, the riders gallop away across the bridge with their unconscious captive in tow. Search the body of our dead enemy. We got the silver brooch. You prise open the visor of the dead warrior's helmet, half expecting to see the rough features of a bandit or highwayman. It comes as a shock to find the cold and empty eyes of a dead woman staring back at you. The shape of her body was concealed by the thick plates of armor, and a clutch of magras reeds in the mouthpiece of her visor had effectively disguised her voice. You find few clues to identify her. Axe, pouch containing 11 gold crowns, dagger, silver brooch are all she carries. You can take the dagger, but not the axe? There's something vaguely familiar about her face, but you cannot remember why. Suddenly your thoughts return to the flight of your companion. Your life is in danger. You mount your horse without further delay and gallop across the Denka Bridge in pursuit. So... But... we can't take a weapon anyway, but why isn't it offering the axe? Alright. So then we end up here. Continue along the highway. Alright, if we ride back to the village, we just die. Let's hide in the trees. It is only a matter of minutes before the riders appear. They ride in a single file with the unconscious wizard in tow behind the last man's horse. Alright, let's use the bow here. Or, no, let's try this option. Attack the last rider. With bated breath, you wait for the enemy to pass. As the last man rides into view, you break cover and attack him with deadly efficiency. He tries to raise a shield to block your blow, but cannot react in time to save his life. As he tumbles to the ground, you cut the reins from his saddle and take off along the highway with the unconscious wizard in tow. Oh, and then we face him. Okay, we do have a silver brooch. What happens here? The memory of the dead woman's face flashes into your mind as you stare into Rourke's eyes, glitteringly black beneath his wide-brimmed hat. The resemblance is so striking, the same aquiline nose and sallow flesh, that they must be related. Suddenly, the riders appear and spread out in a semicircle to surround you. A voice shouts, "Arla is dead! The Northlander killed her!" The lordling's face is transformed into a mask of trembling hatred. Madness flashes in his eyes as he rips open the front of his tunic and tears an amulet from a black chain around his throat. "Come, come, Tagazin, I summoned thee! From the pit of eternal pain, I summoned thee!" So then this happens. This is an easy fight. So killing his, like, sister or mother or whatever, probably his sister, doesn't really change the fact that we fight this. Are we... Okay, we're good. We'll win this. We did take a lot. Alright. Brass Street. So he tells us to go to Brass Street, find Gwinian the Sage. Alright. Oh, the Conjurer. With the two kids. Should we do this again? This time we know the answer. We'll bet. Bet everything. How much have we got? 16? They both lied, didn't they? We got 32. Nice. Doubled our money. stay in the lodging. And then we end up in the city of no, this is not, we're not in Veretta yet. We're just on our way to Veretta. Recognize the orange berries. Yeah, let's buy them. They're 3 each, but they're worth it. They raise your skill by 2 points. I'll buy all 3. Alright, then what? So now we're in Beretta. We don't need the music on. So last time we went to Flute Street and we encountered that strange taxidermist who tried to drug us. We go... try going north. You pass many soldiers of different races and nationalities, lolling in open doorways or squatting against the red brick walls. They are mercenaries, drawn to Beretta by the news of war in the north. They come in search of employment for the chance to sell their skills to any buyer, indifferent to the justness of his cause. Beneath a black iron lantern, you notice a group of men throwing dice against the side of a wall. We'll ask them the way to Brass Street. At first, they pretend not to have noticed you, but eventually a stubbly-faced soldier deigns to answer. "Let the dice decide," he says, face red and glowing in the light of the lantern. He raises his hand, spits on his palm, and throws the bone dice against the wall. What? "Ah, you're in luck, stranger. The dice favor you tonight." The man staggers drunkenly to his feet and points to an alley in the middle distance where a doorway is just visible in the shadows. "The city criers live there. They'll tell you the way to Brass Street." "Well, just tell me where Brass Street is." Well, he doesn't know, I guess. Beyond the doorway, a flight of narrow stone steps leads to a small room. Books line 2 of the walls from floor to ceiling, and another wall is filled with racks of scrolls, handbells, and parchments bound round with ribbons of green silk. Then, in the remaining wall, a door opens, and a tiny creature with unblinking crimson eyes bids you welcome. Instantly, you recognize the stunted features of a Clune. "Good evening, sir," it says in a strong voice that belies its small, squat body. "Welcome to our guild house. How may we be of service?" I want to know where Brass Street is. "Certainly, sir. We of the Guild of City Criers are only too pleased to be of service," says the Clune, waddling over to the bookshelves. He scampers to the top and removes a slim map from beneath a stack of papers before scuttling back down and depositing at your feet. "That will be 5 gold crowns, sir," he says in a firm but polite tone. 5 is pretty steep. Alright, whatever. I'll buy it. Alright, so we've reached this point before. We have the map. This woman is a con artist, and she's pricking her baby with a pin to make it cry so that she gets money. We ignore her. You arrive at a tavern, but one that looks like a huge banqueting hall. More like a huge banqueting hall than a city alehouse. The Inn of Crossed Swords is the largest and noisiest tavern you have ever seen. A constant flow of soldiers pour in and out of its cathedral-like doors, and the adjoining stable is large enough to house the horses of an entire army. You stable your horse and enter the tavern just in time to witness a spectacular event. The middle of the hall has been cleared to allow a horse and rider to gallop the full length of the building, and bets are being laid on the rider's skill at skewering fruit on the point of his lance. It reminds you of part of the training taught to Kai Lords in preparation for battle. But unlike the Kai horse trials, there is more than just skill and the honor of the rider at stake here. In a line along the length of the hall kneel 10 soldiers from the same regiment as the rider, men accused of cowardice in battle. Fruits the rider must skewer are resting on their heads. If he makes the slightest mistake, the men will lose their lives, and more importantly to the mercenaries, all the money the regiment has wagered on the skill of the rider. Should we bet on this? Go on then. A huge, fat-bellied mercenary is standing on a wooden box near the door, taking bets from the crowd of gold-hungry soldiers, while his assistants are busy drumming up business in the hall for their master. One of the grimy-faced boys approaches and asks you for your stake. So you can bet max 10. Then you pick a random number. And then you pick another number and add 3 to it. If the first number is higher than the second total, you win. Well, so there's a less than 50% chance of that happening. Multiply your stake money by 2 to determine how much you have won, so you win double. Oh, I need to do some mental arithmetic here. If the first number was higher than the second total, you win the bet. I'm just hoping that the rider successfully skewers all the fruits, so I'm just going to bet the minimum. Because we'll lose it. But just hoping the guy doesn't get skewered in the face. Okay. Oh, it doesn't matter. Like, they can get skewered, they might not. It's just a game. You don't... There's no... You just... It's all about how much money you earn. Alright. Alright, let's think. Alright, we'll just bet 1 gold. I want to see... Alright, we lose the 1 gold. Bet again. I'll bet a bit more this time. Maybe we'll win. Nope, we lose. How much have we got left? 12. Alright, I'll bet 1. We lost. I mean, it's rigged against you. It's not... I don't think this is actually worth playing. Your betting has attracted some unwanted attention. 2 shifty-eyed mercenaries have been watching you with more than casual interest since your arrival at the Inn of the Crossed Swords. And as the event ends and the crowds disperse, you suddenly feel the sharp point of a dagger piercing the back of your tunic. Your purse or your life, whispers one of the men, his foul breath filling your nostrils. Make your choice. We do have Hunt Mastery. I mean, you're not... If it says this, you're not supposed to pick these options. It's like you have to pick this, don't you? You silence the robber's whispered threats, slamming your clenched fist into his throat and at the same time grabbing hold of his tunic and with your other hand. Is this really a Hunt Mastery thing? Oh, it did say Hunt Mastery makes you good at resisting ambushes or getting surprised. That makes sense. He tries to scream, but his larynx has been crushed by your blow. He gurgles pitifully as you twist him around to shield himself as his accomplice lunges with his dagger. It sinks deeply into the robber's heart as he slumps to his knees. You draw your own weapon and attack his startled killer. Due to the surprise of the attack, you may add 2 to your combat skill for the first round of combat. Alright, we've got this. Ooh, but we did get hit. Alright. Your speedy dispatch of the robbers has earned you 5 gold crowns, which you find in the pockets of the dead men, and the respectful glances of several mercenary captains. One in particular is so impressed by your fighting prowess that he approaches you and offers to buy you a drink. You sense that it is an honest gesture of friendship without any hidden threat and gratefully accept his offer. Alright, then all this happens. We've been here before. He offers us to work as a mercenary for them, but we refuse because we have to. We have business. We have the map. We can retreat ourselves to the bath. Go on then. We'll stay in the room with the bath. Probably wasn't worth the money. The room is a disappointment. For 5 gold crowns, you are expecting some degree of luxury, but the small and shabby accommodation you find leaves much to be desired. Steam rising from an open-topped barrel in a corner of the room clouds the air. Oh, that's what they mean by a bath. At first, you think it must be some form of heating, until you discover it is full of soapy water and realize that this is, in fact, your hot bath. I mean, that's not bad. The meager luxuries of Veretta do not come cheaply. You bathe before settling down to a good night's rest. In the middle of the night, alright, and then this all happens as before. Then we end up here. Alright. Alright, do not go to the temple. Because they just kill us. Let's go to the library. And there was another door. Let's check the other door. Alright. The door clicks shut behind you. It takes a few seconds for your eyes to grow accustomed to the dimly lit interior, but the room appears to be the antechamber of a larger hall. Following the faint sound of voices, you pass through an archway, along a corridor, and into the main hall. Gathered about a circular table of gleaming steel, a group of elderly men are poring over books, star charts, and astromaps engrossed in discussion. Globes of blue-white fire hang motionless in the air above them to illuminate their work. The old men do not see you until you are close to their table. Their reaction to your sudden appearance is astonishing. They look as though they have seen a ghost. There are yelps of shock and startled expressions. Sweat forms on their brows. The sight is too much for one old man, who swoons and faints. What? What's shocking them so much? Falling limply across his books and maps. Only one man remains calm and collected. What's the problem? Right, we've never... Well, if you die, then this is... like, redundant anyway. We don't have to remember. Calm yourselves, my brothers. It is he. It is the Kai Lord. Slowly, as the startled old men regain their composure, their shocked expressions change to ones of awe and reverence. I am Gwinian, says their leader. We have been expecting your arrival. He points to the charts that cover the table and to a massive telescope that is fixed to a platform in the domed ceiling. Wait, are we in the observatory now? The stars divine the shape of things to come. They are our advisors. We know of your quest for the Lawstone. We know that it is the true quest, and we pledge our help. But there are many of our brethren who fear its power. They choose to ignore the wisdom of the stars, and they have pledged themselves to a foolish and dangerous vow to keep hidden the location of the Lawstone, and to kill all who seek it, for fear they would use it for their own ends. Suddenly his words are cut short by the beating of fists against the observatory door. Your horse has been discovered. Give him to us, shouts a chorus of angry voices. How do they know from the horse that it's the Kai Lord? Quickly, we must leave, says Gwinian, and he ushers you into a smaller room. A hidden catch is pulled, and a secret panel opens to reveal a passage. As you follow the sage and his companions into the darkness, you hear the door to the observatory splinter and break. The passage leads to a vaulted cellar, as cold and as silent as a tomb. Gwinian talks with his brothers, who then hurry off towards a distant portal. As they disappear into the dark, he returns to your side, his face somber but composed. The Lore Stone of Veretta is hidden in the crypt of the Cathedral of Takaro. This key will unlock the tomb in which it lies. He produces a small silver key from his sleeve and gives it to you. My brothers will provide a swift horse for your journey. When the observatory clock strikes midnight, enter the portal and follow the passage to the end. It passes beneath the city wall, and your horse will be waiting where the passage comes to the surface. You are welcome to take any items you require from this cellar that may be of use to your quest. You on your quest. May the gods protect you, Lone Wolf. You nod your thanks and watch as Gwinian disappears into the portal. The cellar is well stocked with provisions, and you find the following items. Alright. Sure, take the whistle. And rope, I suppose. We've already got rope. Take another. Alright. When the observatory clock strikes 12, you are poised and ready to enter the portal. You follow a dry stone passageway until you arrive at an iron door. It opens with a grating squeal and a gust of damp, earthy air mixed with a strange sweetness billows out. Before you, a narrow stone stairway twists away into the darkness. You are forced to tread carefully on the green and slippery steps. At the bottom of the stairs, a rough-hewn tunnel disappears to the west. You press on and eventually arrive at another iron door. Gwinian has kept his word, for beyond the door awaits a fine liver chestnut mare, saddled and ready to ride. You are in a small copse close to a highway junction. In the light of the moon, you can see a signpost that includes two destinations, Amory and Soren. So where are we trying to get to exactly? So we are now at Veretta. We can go to Soren, we can go to Amory. Ultimately, we want to get to Caro. So it makes more sense to go to Amory. You ride all night without sleep, with only the moon to light your way and the howling wind as your companion. As the first light of dawn creeps over the horizon, you see a small village less than a mile ahead. A dog barks gruffly at you as you ride into the refuse-strewn streets, and you are forced to drive it away with the toe of your boot as it snaps persistently at your horse's hind legs. On the far side of the village, where the highway enters a line of scattered hills, a fortified manor house stands guard. A large sign, faded by wind and rain, proclaims a curious message. Amory Cess, 3 gold crowns. Sure, should we acquire? We've got some money. Spurring your horse up the steep path to the manor house, you pass beneath its turreted gate and halt at a small outhouse whose walls are embellished with intricate ironwork. The top half of a stable door swings open and a spiky-haired youth leers at you. "Be wanting for a cess for Amory?" he offers offhandedly. 3 gold crowns. He holds a square of blue card in one hand and presents an open palm with the other. Let me ask him what it is. "It's the tax you gotta pay to enter Amory," he answers, irritated by your ignorance of local customs. "This is Lyris, and Amory is in Salony," he explains, emphasizing every word as if you were deaf or dull-witted. "You will need a cess to enter Amory." Whatever, we'll just comply. We got cess. Why is it called cess? Alright. The youth snatches your gold, flicks the square of blue card at you, and slams shut the outhouse door. It is stamped with today's date and will allow you to access the town of Amory on this day only. By noon, the hills lie far behind, and you catch your first sight of the snow-capped Ceneus. To the south, nestling at the foot of this mountain range, is Amory. You are tired after your ride, but you know you must press on if you are to reach the town by nightfall. You reach a junction where a stone signpost indicates two directions, northwest to Sauron and south to Amory. Sure, we'll carry on to Amory. An hour after sunset, you arrive at the gates of Amory. Beneath the deepening shadow of its watchful guard tower, you fight back your fatigue and watch as the gate creaks open. A soldier wearing a hauberk of black and gold chainmail strides forward and demands to see a cess. Here you go. The guard snatches the square of blue card from between your fingers, then walks over to a sputtering wall torch, which he removes from its bracket. Holding the torch high, he returns and examines first the card and then your face. Enter, he snarls, crumpling the card in his hairy fist. You flick your heel and urge your tired horse through the town gate. What? Oh no. Suddenly, all hell breaks loose. Alarm bells ring, gruff voices bellow and scream, and the crunching of boots on stone echoes around the town. A troop of soldiers surround you, their faces twisted and unnatural in the glare of their flaming torches. Your senses have been dulled by fatigue, and you are dragged from the saddle and disarmed before you've had a chance to react. Cold iron chains are wound tightly around your arms and body, and you are roughly pushed into a grey stone jail. A wave of terror engulfs you as you catch a fleeting glimpse of a poster pasted to the jail door. You see your own face before you. Beneath it, it is written, Death Sentence, by order of Lord Rourke, Highborn of Amory. Within the hour, your head is resting upon the executioner's block. As the razor-sharp blade of a two-handed axe whistles towards your neck, the last sound you hear is the malicious and vengeful laugh of the young lordling. So, don't go to Amory. What the fuck? We just go to Amory and then we're killed. We should go to Sauron then. It's ridiculous. Okay. Is there a way we could just avoid the tavern altogether? The one that we, Alright, let's just start a fresh game. Kingdoms of Terror. Alright. Oh my god, bad combat again. Right, we're probably not gonna fight. Let's choose Animal Control and Curing. And maybe Divination. Alright, we'll take Bow and Quiver, because it doesn't... Often your skill doesn't matter with that. And a Sword, because even though we don't have weapon skill, you need a weapon at least. Take the Waistcoat, Rope. Okay, that's enough. Get some money. Not much. Alright. So again, we go to the North Gate. Pay the money. We do have divination. We'll talk to the men. Us to join them, maybe. We have all the company we need, sneers a shiny-faced warrior, his cheeks pockmarked by disease. State your business or be gone, lest our swords grow restless. When they realize who you are, their suspicion vanishes to be replaced by respect. Your reputation, it seems, has spread far beyond the borders of your northern home. Eagerly, the three men offer you a seat and call for a fresh round of ales at their expense. They are clearly honored by your company and keen to press you about your exploits. You try to answer their barrage of questions with polite caution, taking care not to reveal the precise nature of your quest. However, despite their surly features and rough manner, you sense that these men are genuinely friendly. Then they tell us about this. Right, let's not meet Cyrillus this time. Well, let's try not to. They said Brass Street. So we know where to go. Well, we don't have a meal, so we have to order food. Fine. And then this happens. We do that. We do this. Alright, let's not talk to Cyrillus this time, because we already know we have to go to Brass Street. Oh, he joins us anyway. Fine, whatever. So he comes with us, and then we have this tournament we're not going to enter. We have no money left. We have no combat skill. Alright, we'll continue to Veretta. Oh man, we're going to end up fighting either way, aren't we? Tona water. So up there we end up fighting some creature. We often do that. So if we approach the gate, we have to fight that armored foe. Just enter the ale hut, why not? Having hitched your horse to a rail, you climb the crooked steps leading to the door of the ale hut. Cyrillus is announcing his arrival by rapping on the Denker gate with his staff and shouting for his brother to open up. You smile at his growing impatience as he hammers at the gate. Blah blah blah. Inside, the hut looks deserted, but as you approach the bar, you find a man slouched on a low stool, half asleep with a tankard in his hand. Taking hold of the man's shoulder, you shake him to try to wake him from his drunken slumber, but he keels over and slumps to the floor. The back of his shirt is covered with a huge bloodstain spreading from the handle of a dagger that is buried deep in his spine. As you recall in horror, you hear a faint cry for help. It is Cyrillus. He is in trouble. Did this rock just slaughter all the people in this little town just so he could ambush us? What the fuck? And then this happens. We do have a bow. Blah, blah, blah. And then we have to do all this. Alright. We could follow them, but no, we'll have to fight them. If we do either of those, Cyrillus basically dies. See if there's any way to actually keep him alive. We'll follow them. They have covered only a few hundred yards when the last rider turns to check on Cyrillus, who is beginning to slip from his saddle. You pull off the highway to try to hide, but you are seen entering the trees and a shout rings out. He's there. The rumble of hooves warns you that the riders are returning. And they're forcing us to fight. Alright. And then this all happens again. And then we take the wizard. But then we have this to deal with. Oh my god. We're gonna die here. We need combat skill. Yep, we're dead. That's ridiculous. Also, this button's bugged. Oh, we died. We'll always die. Why is this button not working? Alright, we'll have to restart from scratch. Yeah, we died. This one's ridiculous. Please give me some combat skill this time. Five, that's enough. Alright, we'll take these again, and we'll take curing. And hunt mastery. Yeah. No weapon. Oh, okay. Take bow, quiver, sword. Money. Not much. Northgate. We try and ride past the guard. Tollbreaker, tollbreaker. The startled guard dives aside as you spur your horse straight for him. You find that the gatehouse arch opens onto a cobblestone square, but the only exit is blocked by the wagon and merchant caravan. A dozen guards dressed in the green and black tunics of the town watch are checking their cargoes. As you burst from the shadows of the gatehouse arch, they see you and cry in unison, "Tollbreaker! Tollbreaker!" This book has been like half of the total deaths. Yes, this is pretty ridiculous. We're not fighting the town watch. We will lose. We'll try to escape. The shouts of the town guard sergeant ring in your ears as you urge your horse towards the wagon. You pray that your mount has strength enough to clear the obstacle, for you are now committed to jumping it. You cannot turn back. We don't have animal control. Valiantly, your horse attempts to clear the high-sided wagon, but the long day's ride has taken its toll. Suddenly, you are thrown forward in the saddle as its forelegs crash against the wagon's rail. You cling desperately to the reins as your terrified horse scatters the cargo and then lands with a tremendous crash on the cobblestone street. You manage to regain control and spur her along the winding street that leads away from the square. Only when the curses of the town guard can no longer be heard do you rein in your terrified and exhausted mare and take stock of her injuries. The forelegs are bruised, but the skin is not broken. So we have a horse. Why did we have to, like, steal or buy a horse to chase down, Oh no. We did have a horse, but it was stolen, wasn't it? They took our horse. That's why we couldn't use the horse to chase him down. As you remount, you discover to your dismay that the flap of your backpack is unbuckled. We have to drop 2 items. We've only got a rope to drop. Did we forget it at the inn? No, so when you go to the archery tournament, you leave your horse with Cyrillus and his horse. I think the armored horsemen just take him and the horse. I'm not sure. I can't remember what happens exactly. I think the game's all bugged a bit. Maybe we need to just... Let's make a save here. And close the tab. Open it again. Well, I don't know if this is still going to be bugged. Okay. Drop the rope. And then we end up at the tavern. So basically we just lost our rope instead of the money. And then this happens. And no matter what, he joins us, so we will just do that. If we try to say goodnight, he'll be like, oh, you're looking for Veretta. Sure. Alright, archery tournament. Not happening. If we take the glass jar and collect Tana water, we end up fighting. I mean, we're not too bad for combat. We could actually do that. Cyrillus gets kidnapped no matter what we do. So this thing attacks us. We have a bow. We can aim at its eyes this time, maybe. Ooh, got the highest roll. A deafening roar of rage and pain fills your ears. The monster staggers back, its face transformed into a bloody scarlet mask as the arrow pierces its eye. So why are we trying to save this old man? Because he knows where to go in Veretta. He knows that we need to go to Broad Street, but he doesn't tell us unless it's his dying words. The thing is, we can also learn about Broad Street from the other people in the bar in the tavern. But it seems no matter what, we always end up with Cyrillus, so we don't really care about saving him. We just want to get to Brass Street. If he dies, he tells us about Brass Street, so it doesn't seem to be a way to really keep him alive. Alright, we get the Tama water. That wasn't really worth... That's not a big deal. We can search the rest of the chapel. Right. The creature shudders and its arms jerk, clawing at the air. As it dies, its body twitches with a few final convulsions. You stare down at the hideous carcass, but quickly pull away when you notice that its fur is alive with crawling parasites. They know instinctively that their old host is dead, and they are abandoning the body in search of a new one. You hurry over to the altar, where you fill your glass with Tana water. You may drink the water now, blah blah blah. Alright, let's search the chapel. The chapel has lain derelict for many years, exposed to the elements. Very little has survived. In one corner you discover a gaping hole that opens onto another room below. Its floor is covered with large, shiny black puddles, and the overpowering stench of mold and decay is carried upwards by a howling draft. A rat sits on the remains of a corpse, staring up at you in surprise. the dull green light of the chapel reflecting in its peppercorn eyes. As you become accustomed to the gloom, you realize that this room is, in fact, full of corpses, the unfortunate victims of the Yorshaf. Then your gaze is drawn to a gleaming bronze warhammer that lies across the chest of a corpse. Everything below is covered in mold except for this weapon, which still shines as if it were brand new. We threw away our rope. Maybe next time we should take warhammer skill and the rope and come here. And we'll get a fancy warhammer. And now Cyrillus has been taken, and then no matter, we go here, we ignore her and go up the track. We can take the torch, but it doesn't really matter. Alright. And now we can either fight them or just recapture Cyrillus. What happened if we followed them? If we follow them, they see us following them and then we end up fighting anyway. Alright, we'll recapture Cyrillus. And then we end... Okay, generally we always end up at this point. We have to fight this undead summonation, which is not too hard. Although we do lose health every turn. And then he tells us about Brass Street. And then we... Oh, the Conjurer. We can bet on the boy and the girl. Let's just do that. Bet everything. 8 gold crowns. We have enough money, so we can choose not to. Oh, okay, we'll pay. Oh yeah, get the berries. How much have we got? 13. It's worth buying them all. And then we are here. So we tried going to Flute Street before, we tried going to Helen Way. Let's try Coach Course. Ignore her. And then we end up here. We don't want to stake money on this game because it's actually favorable. Although, if we do, then we end up fighting the thief, which gets us 5 gold from killing them. But we spend 3 gold on the game. But we might win the game, so it works out. Let's do it. We'll just bet 1 each time because we'll probably lose, but if we happen to win, we'll get some extra gold. We actually won that one. Alright. And then they fight us, but we should win. Yep. And then... Oh, we don't have the map. Your thoughts return to your quest and to Cyrillus' dying words. The man he was taking you to meet lives in Brass Street, but in a city the size of Areta, it could take you days to find the right street. You decide to try to find out where it is from someone in the tavern, or look around the massive hall in search of a likely source of information. Ask the tavern keeper. You find the tavern keeper breaking up a fight between 2 drunken soldiers. His solution to their argument is short and sweet. Grabbing the 2 men by their necks, he slams their heads together with such force that the crack echoes above the deafening clamor of the hall. Brow Street, he replies, his face lined in thought. Yes, I know it well. Here, I'll show you. The big man produces a greasy piece of paper from his pocket, on which he scrawls the directions to Brow Street. You see that it is located on the far side of the city, close to the west wall. You accept the paper, and the tavern keeper accepts your thanks before returning to the crowd to sort out another scuffle in his own inimitable way. It seems like it doesn't matter what room we stay in. Let's stay in the dormitory. See, it doesn't matter. Oh, you lose one backpack item. Fine. We'll lose the torch because we don't even have a tinderbox, so... Alright, so last time... Alright, so we do want to meet these people, so... They tell us that we have to head to... Tekaro, the cathedral in Tekaro, and they said the Law Stone is locked away in there, and they give us the key. So this is a good... This is good. We'll take... We'll take the meals, I suppose. Alright, we do not want to go to Amory, because Amory is just instant death. We'll go to Soren then. The night passes without sleep. The howling wind of the Veretian plain is your only companion as you ride the long, straight, moonlit highway to Soren. When dawn finally breaks, you find yourself on the outskirts of a small and undistinguished hamlet of half-timbered buildings whose only unusual feature is a bronze statue of a roguish-looking young man that stands in front of the blacksmith's shop. Sure, let's have a look. The weather-worn plaque bolted to the base of the statue says that this is a true likeness of Einar Djup, who led a band of robbers that preyed on travelers, especially merchants. His many crimes, including murder, did not prevent him from becoming popular, for he was resourceful and daring and never plundered the inhabitants of his hamlet, where he himself was born. His exploits and those of a score of his gang were ended by the executioner's axe after trial at Amory. There is a slit in the belly of the statue through which gold crowns can be dropped. The plaque goes on to say that anyone who pays homage to the statue of Einar Djup will be protected by his spirit from robbers and highwaymen. Are we... It doesn't even ask us to record how many... Well... At some point, we might get asked, have you donated to this before? We'll just give one. Shortly before noon, you pass through a deserted village. The burnt-out ruins of cottages and farmsteads dot the landscape like charred skeletons, the unmistakable signs of war. A mile or two farther along the highway, you come across a church. A man, his clothes ragged and covered with mud, is moving amongst the gravestones, staggering like a wounded carrion crow. As you reach the church gate, he sees you and cries out pitifully for help. You notice that the man's clothes and hair are streaked with blood. Your initial instinct is to use your Magna Chi skill to heal his wounds, but as he reaches the church gate, you suddenly realize that he is not wounded at all. The red stains are berry juice, his injuries are fake. Challenge him. Suddenly, a dozen grim-faced robbers spring up from behind the churchyard wall. The wounded man straightens himself and unsheathes a rusty scimitar, an evil cackle issuing from his black-toothed mouth. The robbers vault the stone wall and run at you, brandishing their tarnished weapons above their heads. Maybe we should win. You wipe your weapon on the cloak of a dead grave robber and turn him over with the toe of your boot. Several graves bear the signs of the grave robber's labor. The freshly dug soil is heaped high and coffin lids lie shattered and discarded everywhere. The weapons these men used are old and pitted with rust and obviously acquired, like the rest of their booty, from graves and tombs. A search of the bodies reveals 27 gold crowns, a bottle of wine, and a mirror. Sure. We full. Okay, let's throw away the meals. You are tired after your long night's ride, but you know you must press on if you are to reach the town of Soren by nightfall. You come to a shallow stream which crosses the highway, and here you stop briefly at a ford to wash and rest. You must also now eat a meal, blah blah blah. Alright. Soren, 25 miles. Night has fallen by the time you reach the river town of Soren, and the sky is clear and full of stars that sparkle with icy splendor. You ride the main street towards the quay where a score of river ships lie docked at the town. Their signal lamps, shimmering red and green from the mast tops, reflect upon the cold, dark waters of the River Storm. A board standing beside the gangplank to a large transport caravel catches your eye. On it are chalked the prices of passage to 3 destinations. A 4th destination, Takaro, has been crossed out and scribbled beside it. It is cancelled due to war. Alright, we have to get to Takaro. So Luyan, Rem, and Ula. Well, Ula is closest. So we should go straight for Ula if we can. A jovial man with long strands of hair hanging down from the point of his chin lies in a hammock suspended at the end of the gangplank. One eye pops open as you walk onto the deck, and as quick as a flash, he jumps down and produces a fistful of tickets from his breast pocket. "Welcome aboard the Kazunara," he says excitedly. "The best riverboat that ever sailed the Storm. We leave at midnight, sir, so it so's you best be aboarding your horse in the hold without delay." We'll go to Ula. Hold of the riverboat is full of horses, not the slow cart horses favored by merchants, but strong and sturdy mounts that carry many scars of battle upon their muscular flanks. You unsaddle your mare, load her manger with feed, then make your way back on deck. As you emerge from the hold, a voice calls out to you as you raise your weary eyes. It is the captain, the mercenary leader you ran across at the Inn of the Crossed Swords. "Well met, my friend," he cries, and slaps you enthusiastically on the shoulder. "So you changed your mind. You have come to join my band of fearless fighters." Before you have a chance to answer, the captain and his men, who are all considerably the worse for drink, stumble past on a quest of the utmost importance, the search for the wine store. You are far too tired and weary to follow. The thought of your cabin bed and a good night's sleep is all that interests you. With your horse stabled safely in the hold of the Kazunara, all that remains for you is to find your cabin. This proves to be a tiny room at the bow, but at least it has a comfortable bunk, and you fall asleep as soon as your head touches the feather pillow. You wake an hour after dawn and peer out of this circular porthole at the shadowy riverbank. Drizzle obscures all detail and the sky is tinged with grey. As day approaches, the river mist grows thicker and whiter, and you go up on deck. The captain stands alone at the rail, the shoulders of his leather cloak soaked by the cold drizzle. He nods a welcome and points to the Sene Mountains now hidden in the mist. Waiting for you to lose your ticket and get thrown overboard. In theory, we can just throw our ticket on the floor. This foul weather robs us of landmarks, but by my reckoning, we should be in Luyan by noon. You stare through the grey, damp air and pull your cloak closely around your shoulders. Suddenly there is a tremendous jolt and you are thrown headfirst against the rail. The The screech of twisting metal and splintering wood tears through the silence as the Kazanara shudders and dips violently. The boat has hit a boom. A line of logs chained together across the river. "Hell's teeth!" cries the captain. "Have we run aground?" God, we better get a refund for this ticket. As the words leave his lips, a grapnel and rope drop from the sky and bite into the ship's rail. More follow, and through the mist you can make out the shapes of longboats approaching. "River pirates!" shouts the helmsman. "Prepare to repel boarders." Further along the deck, one of the captain's men is felled by a thrown knife. His comrades rush to his aid, but by now the river pirates are pouring over the side, and he is trampled underfoot. "Battle order!" bellows the captain, and immediately his men respond, linking shields and holding their ground. A swarm of grim-faced pirates are boarding close by. One of their number, a lean man with only one ear and a split nose, smiles at you with anticipation. His lips drawn back from his teeth, and his eyes wide with excitement. He is obviously relishing the thought of ending your life. You just use the bow. The riverboat is still rocking violently from the collision, throwing you off balance. You raise an arrow, take aim at the man's chest, and try to anticipate the shift of the deck as you prepare to fire. He screams and falls with an arrow embedded so deeply into his chest that only its feathered flights can be seen. His comrades freeze in their tracks, their eyes wide with fear. As you move forward, they scatter and run. Leaping over the dead bodies, you fight your way across the deck to where the captain is in combat with 5 pirates. While he attacks with a long sword in his right hand, he parries enemy cutlasses with a bronze sleeve shield that encases his left forearm. He fights with cool determination, making light work of the battle-clumsy pirates. Then a war horn heralds the arrival of a new and formidable wave of attackers. You anticipate the captain's danger and rush to protect his back from the snarling, mad-eyed pirate berserkers. We could use... We'll see how the first few hits go. Good. Good. Alright, we've got this. The tide of battle has turned in your favor. The pirates came in search of easy plunder, but your furious resistance has broken their nerve. They flee from the deck, scrambling into the longboats to escape. The captain follows them, hewing at them with his sword. He cuts his way to the ship's rail and grabs the pirate leader by the neck. He rams the man's head against the mainmast once, twice, 3 times with a rage that splits the timber. Don't break the mast. I've been killed by a falling mast twice before. And the pirate's leather-clad skull. Ha! He cries gleefully. I've always said that Deldinians have no head for a fight. The battle ends as swiftly as it began, with the surviving pirates melting away like phantoms into the fog. There are a few casualties amongst the mercenaries, but the boat's crew have been decimated. The pirate berserkers trapped them below decks and slaughtered them. Only one escaped their murderous blades. The captain takes command, marshalling repairs and overseeing the burial of the dead. As the bodies sink beneath the dark waters, the Kazanara emerges from the mist, the welcoming sight of Luyan. Luyan, the city of flowers and wine, greets you. But, my ticket was for... Ugh, I guess the boat finishes its journey here. Next time, just buy a ticket for Luyan. Luyan, the city of flowers and wine, greets you. Its towers, timbered houses, and fortified perimeter walls silhouetted against the sky. It lies in the shadow of the Senners, at a dangerous bend where the fast-flowing Storn undercuts the sheer slopes of Mount Prindar. The captain docks at the Luyan Quay for provisions. As his men busy themselves with a myriad of duties and tasks, you accompany him on a visit to the Luyan apothecary. It looks like we might be continuing the journey. Yeah. The entrance to this famed establishment is marked by a huge stone jar creaking on its chains. The shop is vast and full of things that stir your curiosity. Towers of containered liquids, mountains of coarse-grained powders, and forests of roots and herbs crowd the bleached wooden shelves. The captain seeks medicines of strength and healing in readiness for the battle ahead, and the herbmaster's eyes widen with delight when he reads the captain's list. They are his most expensive preparations. Let's have a look at the potions. How much money have we got? 13. See, Potion of Aletha is a good one, but we've got so many of them now. We could use it for every fight. We should... You need the Graveweed. It is a very powerful poison. Yeah. Well, it might have a use in killing someone. I've already got 3 of these Aletha berries. So we should just get the... Wait, so we've got to get rid of one backpack meal for one thing. Rendalim's Elixir. What is that? Oh, restores 6 endurance points per dose. Causes death if swallowed. Probably, yeah, we should actually probably get the Graveweed. Like, if we get to a point where we need to poison someone, either we put them to sleep or we kill them. Better to kill them, I guess. Let's get the Graveweed. We don't need any of the other things. Take a look at the other shops. Weapon shop. We don't need any of this. Oh, arrows. Yeah, get the arrows. Oh, you can buy as many arrows as you want. I'll buy 2 more. Did it work? Yeah, we've got 6 arrows. 6 arrows is probably enough. Alright. At the end of the street, you stop to look in the window of a tall, half-timbered shop. How much money do we have left? 7 gold crowns. It contains a fascinating selection of maps and charts which detail the various cities and regions of Magnamont. You enter the shop and browse the shelves that line the walls. Well, we want Takara, don't we? Map of Summerland? In theory, well, we've seen the map of Summerland before. I don't know why we'd buy that. Maybe somebody wants a map of Summerland and we give it to them? I don't know. We'll get the Takara map. Let's get rid of... Is it not a special item? Wait, what was the message? Oh, it's a backpack item, okay. Bottle of wine? I don't know. We had a chance to use the rope before, but it could always be useful. Get rid of the bottle of wine. You help the captain to carry his purchases, which fill 2 large wooden boxes. As you stagger from the apothecary, he tells you he is anxious to return to the boat without delay. His men are good soldiers but poor sailors. He feels that without his watchful eye and stern command, they will forget their work and drink themselves into a stupor. His fears are unfounded, for upon your return to the quay, the Casanara is fitted out and ready to sail. Cast off, booms the captain, enjoying the novelty of his new riverboat command. So he's basically just commandeered the boat now. We'll make Rem by nightfall. The captain is as good as his word. As dusk settles over the storm, you sail into the Horseshoe Harbour at Rem. The city is choked with people, mercenaries from the north and west, weapon merchants from the east, and ragged refugees from the war-torn south. The captain orders his men to sleep aboard the Casanara this night, forbidding them to go ashore. But Prince Balon of Rioma and his mercenary knights are encamped inside the city wall. A bitter and long-standing rivalry exists between the two companies, and the captain wisely wishes to avoid any confrontation. Rumour has it that a number of the Stornland's most powerful princes are gathered in Rem to plot the defeat of the Slovians. However, the captain believes it is more likely that the robber barons are conspiring against each other to steal the riches of Takara for themselves. Maybe. You set sail at first light, bidding farewell to the slender twin towers of the Rem citadel, which overshadows the city quay. The Storn flows southwards through steep-sided fields of vines, arranged in endless, straight rows like the waves of a green sea. The weather is warm, and you spend the day on deck watching the traffic of refugees heading north along a highway, and the strange, gigantic toads, the slopes at work, pulling riverboats and barges upstream. It is late afternoon when you sight the town of Ula in the distance. But what if I had a ticket for Rem? I guess you're not going to Rem. You saddle your horse and shoulder your equipment as the Casanara berths at the town's wooden pier. You sense that the time has come for you to decide whether to stay with the captain or leave his company and ride to Takara alone. Like, what is the captain doing? This is a tough choice, actually. Like, he'll just attract... He'll attract attention, won't he? We basically want to sneak in, because Takara's at war. Probably our best chance is as a lone wolf. Also, it doesn't seem to matter what ticket we purchased. Nobody's asked. So, keep that in mind for next time, if there is next time. We'll go alone. The town of Ula has been turned into a huge army encampment, its people having long since fled to the north, abandoning their homes and livestock to the gold-hungry soldiers. Soldiers from a dozen different nations rub shoulders with fighters of less than human origin. Less than human? United by their common greed. As you watch endless columns of soldiers marching towards the pall of black smoke rising in the south, your heart begins to sink. The city in which the Lawstone lies, Takaro, is a city under siege. A city that can withstand the onslaught of 10,000 fighting men. As you ride across the soot-blackened fields towards the siegeworks and entrenchments at the bank of the River Carl, you curse the war that threatens to defeat your quest. You ride along a muddy path running the length of a ridge that overlooks a great stone bridge. High stone walls and a fortified gatehouse rise steeply from the riverbank, and the only access to the city is across the bridge. You stare at the battlements of Takara with growing despair, for they bristle with archers and cauldrons of molten lead. The burnt-out hulks of siege towers and the bodies of dead soldiers lie strewn in heaps before the battered city gate. From where you are, you can see the cathedral spire silhouetted in the glow of innumerable fires in the center of Takara. If it were not for this accursed war, you would be in the crypt in less than an hour. You see that before you the path dips steeply towards a line of tents erected behind a wall of earth and logs. They overflow with the wounded from countless assaults across the bridge. Sure, we'll help the wounded men. The conditions inside the tent are appalling. Badly wounded men lie on the muddy ground with nothing but rags to dress their injuries. Many are without boots, which have been stolen by their treacherous comrades who have taken advantage of their helplessness. One such man is cutting the purse from an unconscious soldier when you enter the hut. He leaps to his feet and attacks you with a curved knife. Crit. Prizing the pouch from the thief's hand, you return it to the pocket of the unconscious soldier. Many of the wounded men witness what you have done, and from that moment you become a hero in their eyes. Your use of the Magna Chi discipline of curing to heal many of their wounds strengthens their esteem and devotion, and they pledge themselves to help you in any way they can. Alright, let's ask for them for advice then. Map of Takaro. Some of the men laugh and look at you as though you're crazy, but one man calls you over to his side and hands you a leather tube. It's a map of Takaro, he whispers painfully. I don't know how you can enter the city, but if you do find a way, this map may be of use. Yeah. Okay. So can we actually look at the map? No. The path ends at the point where the rivers Storn and Karl converge in a V-shaped bank. Ogron engineers and carpenters are busy at work constructing pontoons for floating bridges, which look like enclosed rowing boats, and are destined to be used to cross the river further downstream. Staring out across the water, you notice a dark shadow like the entrance to a cave at the base of the city wall. After concentrating for a few moments, you find you can make out the dull crisscross of metal bars. It is the sewer outfall. We ask the Ogrons. You're looking at the hellhole, says an Ogron. When the siege began, Prince Erevin sent 10 humans in there to find out where it leads. When they never came back, he sent 10 Ogrons in. Ain't seen none of them since. Oh, I'm not... Shush. I guess I'm not going in there then. Another Ogron who is splitting a log with his bare hands overhears the conversation. We've heard noises in the hellhole late at night. Horrible noises. He draws a fat finger across his blue-black throat before returning to his work. Wait, it seems like we're going to the hellhole. Maybe it's the only way in. Well, if I'm going across, I'd rather take the pontoon than swim. They will not let you touch any of the pontoons. If any go missing, they will each receive 100 lashes as punishment for their negligence. They keep a watchful eye on you as you leave the camp. As it is now impossible to take one of the pontoons, you resign yourself to a long, cold swim. The water is freezing cold, it saps your strength, and you find it increasingly hard to swim against the strong, converging river currents. Eventually, you reach the rocky bank and stagger ashore near the sewer outfall. Unless you have the magma... blah blah blah. Alright. There is a gaping hole in the crisscrossed bars, large enough for you to pass through with ease. The fetid water that is combed by this grill contains all manner of filth, a veritable feast for rats and vermin. However, as you wade deeper into the tunnel, you gradually realize that the sewer is completely free of rats, and in fact seems to be totally devoid of all life. Circular chutes appear at regular intervals in the tiled ceiling, but they are far too small and slippery to climb. 15 minutes after entering the sewer, you arrive at a major junction where 2 new channels flow into the main course. Well, we've got the map. In the dim light of the sewer, you could just discern the outlines of the curtain wall and the streets of Takaro on your map. The cathedral is right in the center of the city, approximately half a mile from the point where the 2 rivers meet, and lying due east of the point at which you entered the sewer. You fold the map and set off again towards your objective. Due east of the point at which you entered the sewer, alright. 100 yards along the passage, you see a flight of stone steps ascending to a stone trapdoor set flush with the ceiling. Oh, I don't have much luck with trapdoors. Let's keep going. Less than 50 yards along the channel, another passage joins the main flow from the right. Press on. You press on diligently, counting the steps that take you along the sewer until you reach a narrow vault a little over 150 yards from the previous junction. An iron ladder, its rungs pitted with rust, rises out of the water into an arched stone door. Beneath the door, the sewer continues into darkness. I guess this could be the cathedral? The door is old and decayed. It has not been opened for 100 years. If you are to find out what lies beyond it, you will have to clear away the dirt that jams the hinges. You don't have this. Only brute force will break the seal of encrusted filth and open the door. To break open the door, you should follow the normal combat rules. We should be able to win this. We're not actually losing health, are we? Oh, we are. Oh, damn. Okay. I don't know if we were supposed to, but anyway. The old stone door creaks slowly open, and as the dust settles, you find yourself staring into the crypt of Tekaro Cathedral. Stepping into the chill, stale air, your heart begins to pound in your chest. The Lore Stone is here, you can feel it. Beams of ashen moonlight filter into the crypt, illuminating a line of somber granite tombs that lie like sleeping giants under the earth. Clutching the small silver key, you examine them one by one for the lock that guards the legendary Lore Stone. You find the lock and insert the key, but you are suddenly distracted, on the brink of discovery, by the creature that is advancing through the sewer door. A huge, lumbering monster stalks towards you. It is over 10 feet high with thick, twisted, hairy limbs and 8-fingered hands tipped by razor-sharp talons. Baleful, monstrous eyes protrude from yellow slits in its glistening head, and a long reptilian tail whips behind it. Its hideous and peculiar gibbering fills the moonlit crypt as it draws nearer and nearer. We'll use the bow. Trembling with fear, you draw the bowstring and fire. The arrow glances off its armored head and shatters against the crypt wall. There is no time for a second shot. You shoulder your bow and prepare for close combat as the creature moves in to strike. Oh, fuck. Oh, but we could bring it down to 25. So let's use one of these potions. We might as well. -4. Could use another one. Let's think. We only have to bring it down to 25. Let's take a turn and see what happens. Okay, good. Ooh. Just one more hit. There we go. What are we on? 7 HP. Do we have... we can heal. Let's read the text first. The crypt floor is crawling with the severed remains of the monster, which still writhe blindly forward with maniacal intent. Spider-like, the severed hand climbs your leg and embeds its talons in your flesh. As you fight to free yourself from its vice-like grip, the torn pieces of the Dacomid's body gather themselves together for another attack. I think we have to kill it. Let's heal. How long can we keep this ticket to Ula? Alright, we'll strike the creature. Oh, what? The Dacomid shudders and reels back as your weapon makes impact, sinking deep into flesh that clings like jelly and reeks of a charnel smell that closes your throat. A drop of its watery blood splashes on your arm, eating through your tunic and searing your flesh. Your weapon disintegrates, corroded by the blood. Before you can pull away, a razor-sharp talon snares your cloak and draws you to your doom. Your life and your quest end here in the crypt to Caro Cathedral. Alright, I think I'll stop the stream there. This is the longest book yet. This is a punishing book. We're Magna Chi now. We face tougher challenges, I guess. Oh man. Well, I'm sort of seeing how to optimize this. Before I end the stream, we could choose some... Okay, let's see what combat skill is. Oh, God. 1. Alright. I mean... we can avoid some tough combats. Like, buying the berries means we can raise our skill for that fight with the monster. It seems that fight is unavoidable. And then when we've broken it, we need to quickly grab the Lore Stone, I assume. I wonder how long it would take to bring a single Kai through every book. What, like following the rules, like not dying once. I think somebody did an analysis of all like the RNG in the game to work out and found that it's very, very, very unlikely to make it all the way through, because there's often bridge points where you have to get where you have to can't remember. I'll have to try and find that post. Somebody's done a full flowchart of the entire series, which is quite cool. All right, with low combat, we'll have to rely on. It seems we need to fight that beast, though. Was it immune to this? Well, it doesn't matter. We just had to bring it down to 25 though, so the berries would help us. We'll take curing. I think we should take weapon skill anyway, even though we've got low combat skill, because there's some easy combats that we still have to win, like the thieves and stuff. The bow, sword. Oh, take the warhammer. We'll try getting the warhammer to see what it is. So for that, we'll need the rope. So we've taken weapon mastery, curing. I think we're gonna take hunt mastery. Right. Right now we'll take the bow, the quiver, and the sword. And we'll aim for getting the warhammer, so we need the rope. And waistcoat. Alright. Got a bunch of money. Alright, let me think. Do I really want to do this now? Go on, let's have a stab at this. Alright. Northgate. Pay the fee. Then it doesn't really matter what we choose here. Either way, we end up with this guy. Alright, here we have to shoot him. Ask him about the Law Stone. Yeah, sure. Alright. We're not going to win the archery tournament, so don't bother. We do want to go for the... Yeah, the Tana Water is where the Warhammer was, so let's do that. Aim for the eyes. Okay, I don't think we killed it. Oh, -7? Oh, it's quite tough. At this point, we can elude combat. What health? Oh, we've got 9 health left. If you survive 3 rounds of combat, you can elude. He'll hit us one more time. We've got to elude. It's chasing us. Alright, once through the arch, you run headlong across a rock-strewn courtyard towards a breach in the castle wall. Here you notice a stone staircase leading down to an iron gate. A quick glance over your shoulder tells you that the Yorshath is still in hot pursuit and is closing the gap. It is in a frenzy of hatred and anger. I don't know, climb the breach? Swiftly you clamber across the broken stones. But your hopes of escape are soon dashed when you see the terrifying drop that awaits you on the other side of the castle wall. Reluctantly, you turn to face your pursuer. With only the yawning precipice behind, you have no choice but to stand and face the monster again. Within seconds it appears, snarling and growling horribly as it prepares to tear you limb from limb. Leap aside. This could be an insta-death though. Crazed with hatred and rage, the Yorshath springs from the top of the mound of rubble and dives straight for you. Its frenzy has made it blind to the peril of the precipice, and as you leap aside it hurtles past and disappears into the void. Seconds later you hear a shriek as it crashes into the rocks hundreds of feet below. Alright, so we get the Tawna water. That will be useful. Search the chapel. Let's see, use the rope to get the Warhammer. You make a noose at one end of the rope and lower it carefully through the hole in the floor. If you can slip the noose around the head of the hammer, it should tighten as you pull on the rope and draw the hammer upwards. Damn. I think we failed. You maneuver the noose until it catches on the spur of the back of the hammer's head and lift it gently from the corpse's chest. Unfortunately, the rope is not secure and the warhammer slips from the noose as you pull it upwards. We had the odds. With a dull splash, the weapon lands in one of the black puddles and sinks from sight. Alright, and then we do all this. Then we face him. -3, I think that's doable. We're a bit hurt though. Ooh. Nothing we can do. Can we take the potion? We're not allowed to drink these during battle. Oh, we're screwed. Yeah, because we lose 2 health every turn, either way. Oh, we died again. Oh, I didn't... Did I increase the death counter before? No, I didn't. So... We're at 24 now. Come on. Let's try and get that Warhammer. We need combat. 6. Alright, that's doable. That's good. Alright, weaponry. Warhammer, sword, bow. We want curing and hunt mastery. Could even go from... No, yeah, okay, that's fine. Money. River, bow, sword, rope, waistcoat. Alright. Here we go again. So we're quite strong now. Should be able to... Alright. Northgate. Pay the fee. Order food, blah blah blah. We could even enter the tournament. Oh, but then we gotta do the horse thing. I mean, the odds are in our favor of not getting shot by the arrows. Are we strong enough to win the tournament? Let's try. -8. Damn. So at 20, we have -8. If we had like Mind Blast, we would get a little bit more. Now, you got a really high skill for this. Alright, well, we'll see what happens. Oh, we lose. And then Cirrus is gone. We don't have enough money to buy the horse, so either way we're gonna be chased by the arrows, so we have to just take the horse and give chase. And we're dead. What was the roll that would have helped there? Animal control, I think. Yeah. Come on. Alright, let's see what skill we get now. 9! Alright. Alright. We'll go all in on combat. Just... And I don't want to ride the horse, escape on the horse. But if we enter the archery tournament, like this is the prime opportunity to enter the archery tournament and win it and get the super bow, which would be useful. Well, it won't be any use against the monster though. Okay, no, forget the tournament. But it could be useful in later books though. I don't know. What is the role we need? Animal control. That would help with that. Let's see. If I chose animal control and curing, I would get +3 EP. Alright, DJ. See you next time. Probably be stopping soon. See what happens here. Alright, I'm gonna risk the we'll try and enter the tournament. I really want that bow. We'll risk getting shot by arrows again. So we get the weapon, the curing, and the hunt mastery. Alright. And take bow. Wait. If we're entering the tournament, we don't really even need the bow. Because we'll win the bow. And you get to borrow a bow for the tournament. So we'll take sword, the waistcoat, the rope, quiver. Tinderbox. Right. Only a bit of money. Right, again. Northgate. Pay that. Order food. We're not going to have any money though. Do not possess a ball, so we'll fight him. But we only have to bring him down to 11. And then we'll do this. Right, are we entering the tournament? Yeah, 23. We should be able to win this. And then we'll get a bow. On the table in the center of the tent lies a stack of bows that have been provided by the villagers. Most of them are in very poor condition, but if you manage to find 3 that are not warped, split, or unstrung. One is a Vasagonian bow called a Jackhand, another is a bone bow from Kalt, and the third is a Durinese hunting bow. The Durinese hunting bow. I mean, that sounded... I don't know why, but that sounded the better one. Alright, so we've got the Durinese hunting bow. Bum, bum, bum. Alright, come on. -5. Wait, -5 is the same column as -6, actually. Okay, fine. That's it. Come on. No. Yes. Yes, we win. Alright. How much money do we have? None. Alright, we have to take the horse and give chase. We do have hunt mastery, come on. Yes! Okay, progress. Alright, now. Oh, but if we do that, then we don't get to check out the Tana water. Alright, fine. Well, we got the bow. That's something. Alright. We'll win this easily. Oh man, we're losing lots of health though. Okay. Alright, then we... Oh, we got the Conjurer. We can bet 2 gold crowns, I suppose. Got 4 gold crowns. How much is it? 3. I will save the money, see what happens. You lose 2 endurance points. Fine. I'll get them back. Yes, get the berries. Oh no, we can only buy 1. Fine. Need money for these berries. Alright, now what? Try going this way. City Criers. Sure. Let's enter. Oh, we've been here before. Alright, we ask him for Brass Street, but he doesn't tell us because we don't have money. Let's just leave. Go south. Taxidermist. We've got curing, so we can do this. Alright, kill him. So we get a potion and a map of Loretta. Nice. Alright. Might as well bet on this thing. And we get 5 gold crowns, and then this happens. We have a map. If we stay in the dormitory, we lose backpack item. Alright, we'll pay for the room. How much money we got left? 10. Okay, so we go to the library. Go the other door. Go here, go here. Got the key, that's important. Take these things. Alright, don't go to Amory, go to Soren. The statue. Oh. Sure, we'll donate. But we won't have much money left. Challenge him, yeah. We'll kill him. Get a bottle of wine and mirror. Yeah, let's throw away some things. But 36 gold crowns, nice. That's enough for the ticket as well. Alright, let's buy a ticket to Luyan because it seems we end up at Ula anyway. Right, then this happens. If you have a bow and wish to use it. We have a bow! This is a bow! Oh, we got no arrows. What happened to my arrows? Oh, what happened to my arrows? I got no arrows, damn it. I shouldn't have lost my arrows unless something specifically took my arrows, I don't know. Alright. We should be able to win this. Alright, and then we get to this place. Potions. Check this out. We'll get the grave reed. We've got no space. Alright, throw away the meal. Take the... Oh, very important to take the Aletha first. Take the Aletha. Probably want the grave weed as well. We've got 2 ropes. I'll get rid of one of them. We'll keep our money. Alright, check the other shops. Definitely get arrows. Because for some reason we got no arrows. I don't know what happened with the arrows. Oh, sell the mace. Get more arrows. How many we got? 6? That's enough. Right. Apothecary, but we'll get one anyway from the wounded soldiers. No, we won't buy one. Assuming we okay. We purchased a ticket for the riverboat to Soren. Yeah, we did. We'll go alone. Here. Here. Fight this guy. We win. They give us the map to throw away. Bottle of wine. Let's go that way. All right. Then we'll ask them. Swim across. The map, we go in. So this is all the same as before. Continue. Press on. Climb the ladder. And now we fight the door. Okay. Why are we losing so much health? Come on. Alright, use the bow. There was no point using the bow, actually. -2. Alright, we'll see how it goes. Good. 11. Damn it. We'll use a thingy. Cannot swallow more than one handful during any combat. Alright, we'll use this one then. Just to get more ratio. Damn it, we're still losing health. Alright. Let's heal. I don't know what will happen next. It's only 3. So we're on 8. Oh man. So we will do that. As the door creaks open, a sun-like radiance pours from the tomb and floods the crypt with golden light, its searing intensity paralyzing the Dacomid. You grasp the Lawstone and your senses reel with newfound wisdom and strength. Instinctively, you raise your weapon and strike the monster at the base of its hideous skull. It shrieks and dies instantly. We got rid of the key, right? Alright. Before your eyes, the Dacomid's skin ripples as if a wave were washing beneath its skin. Suddenly, a crisscross of wrinkles appears, and layers of transparent bone peel and fall from its shell-like skull. Its body becomes hunched, shrinking and folding by the second, until all that is left is a film of dust on the floor of the crypt. Time has at last caught up with this ancient terror. As the golden light begins to fade, you stare at the object of your quest, the Lawstone of Beretta. But all that you hold in your hand is a hollow sphere of glass, transparent and unremarkable to look at. Your quest has succeeded! For the power of the Lawstone has been transfused into your body and mind. Its strength and wisdom is now a part of you, and the transfusion signals the beginning of a new and deadly challenge on your quest for the Magna Chi. But be warned, the quest will draw you into a sinister realm where a malicious and terrible evil has grown in power since Sun Eagle first completed the Magna Chi quest. If you possess the courage of a true Kai Master, the challenge and the quest await you in Book 7 of the Lone Wolf series entitled Castle Death. Alright. We'll just save here. So let's have a look what we brought with us. Good combat skill. We could go for Mind Blast just to really top that up. We've got the Circle of Fire Law Circle. We could try to push for another one. But I don't think we'll be able to get one right now. We've got a sword. And a bow. We've got the silver bow. That's an extra 3 points. That's really good. We've got some stuff here. And a potion of a letter, which is good. Yeah. And we've got 18 gold crowns. Not bad. Right then. Why does it keep switching to no? I don't know what this really does. I think it might use a different RNG system. It might not be perfectly uniform. Alright. Until next time. So we are now... We're now... We're now, So we went from Kualan to Takaro. Here we are. We're at Takaro. We just picked up the thing. Alright then. That was an ordeal. So that's almost like 4 or 5 hours for one book. Bloody hell. Alright, we'll see what the next one will be like. See you next time.